So hello Cyberland, my name's Marlon. The channel is Old Fart Hacks and we're back on to working on this XY table. Little 2-axis XY table. I finally got this to the point where I have just the slightest of hang up right here. But otherwise the way or the gib is tight and it moves quite smoothly. Just the slightest bind. So we're going to put it back together now. I don't know if we should actually run through the whole process. It's going to take several minutes. I flipped the junky half nut or nut onto the lathe and cleaned it up a little bit so that it moves a little nicer. Made the ends prettier. Things basically a raw casting where they turn this, chop it off, turn those ends, and then do a rough thread. And, anyway. And we'll be setting in the bearings and such. What the heck, let's just go ahead and do the assembly. Let's see if I can keep this on camera. Step one. Yep, this here thingy, this ring, goes here. So let's go ahead and start by, I think we'll insert the ram. Which way does this thing turn to get out there further? Can I get this in? Yeah, there we go. So that's up and in. Next, got to remember how to do this. Yeah, okay. So next we put the smaller bearing in, and I got some silicone grease for this so that things will move more smoothly through the years. Just a little bit here and a little dab there, Not much, just a little bit. It's like Brill cream, a little dab will do you. You guys don't know Brill cream, you're entirely too young for that. But a very popular product back in the day. Okay, that gets there. That falls out, of course, just because. This slides over here. Now that I have that slid in place, let's take one of the screws and see if we can get it started without dropping things. Why can't these things just ever be easy? I know that would take all the fun out of it, right? What we have here is a failure for me to be coordinated enough to do this. Okay, that one started, which should help hold this thing in place. The other end of the lead screw, of course, just hangs in the air, and so the thing is capable of falling until you get this clamped in place. And even so, it's capable of falling, clearly, because it just fell. Okay, I believe that's installed in the right place. Where's my brain gone? My brain may be gone. Tell you what, folks, let me stop this video for right now, fiddle around with this and put my brain back in order, and then I'll bring you back. Okay, so anyway, we're back. The setup, I finally figured it out, is we have these holes here. We have this bearing. The bearing, as I said, has just been lubed. And what it does is it bears on the shoulder here on the center. So to install this, this is how we do it. We make sure that that's all the way in place. This goes down. And then as you push, you notice the slide is moving. We then install a screw. Or two. And what this does is, of course, then sets it up such that on screwing this way, that bearing bears on the screw and this and locks it. Essentially what you're doing, what's being done here, is to set up a plate, that being this surface and the back side of this, that then gets trapped between two bearings. The one that you just saw and this one over here. Yes, very good. And now we're actually, if you look back here as I turn this, you will actually see the jaw moving slightly. So now on to the next step. Sorry about whacking the camera. It's my ongoing problem in life. We'll leave it on this angle as we do this. Next, we then come in and put in, let's see. I think we're better off putting the bearing in first. So a little bit of grease on the bearing here. Again, not much, just enough to long-term let it ensure that it runs smoothly. And yeah, we got to trap it in there. But let's go ahead and slide this onto here. This will just rattle around. The key goes in. This is one of the key components. Now, one of the things I'm going to have to do is, right now this spins entirely too loosely. I took the piece of tape that they had here as a friction element off. What I will be doing in the near future, and I'll do a video on it, but I want to get this back together, is I'm going to come in about, here, drill a small hole, and just stick in the end of a coil spring. I'll form the end of the coil spring down, about 10 turns of a coil spring, and I'll form the end that's sticking up down to kind of a rounded shape as I fold the spent coil in, and then that will slide on the inside here and provide a friction component. When you're assembling these, make sure you assemble the bar to, the numbers to where you can see them from the outside. And then this lines up, of course, on the keyway. Assuming you can find that. First you have to get it past the bearing. Maybe better to put the bearing in place. Make sure the key is all the way down. There. And now that's over the keyway. And the final step, of course, is lay nut. I know, I'm lay nut, but then again, why do you think this channel is called Old Fart Hacks? If it weren't for being nut, I'd be crazy. And the final thing is lay wrench. A lot of them. Well, that binds up nice and well, so I'm going to have to find out why that's binding. But the table does move. Oh, there we go. That's better. Yep. You can see the block moving right there. And I've got all the slop out of this table on this end now. So now this end at least has no real wiggle in it. It's still got maybe a thousandths or so, which I will take out in due course, but at least it's good enough now that I can always come in if I'm doing some work, come to where I need this axis to be, snug down that screw or one of them, and things will fit or will stop. In the long run, by the way, this has got a steel, cheap steel, bit of bar stock steel as the gib. In the long run, I will replace that with brass. But just loosen one of those up slightly. And now this works smoothly. And as I said, the other thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to inscribe a line right here so that there's something to reference on and determine what the heck that actually references. But that's about what I've got for you right now. I'm actually happy with this would be the way you would normally use it, I guess, would be as the x-axis. The only trouble is this one ends up with, because of the way the gibs and such are set up, I may end up having to flip this thing. We'll see once I put it back together. But I do believe the y-axis, or is this the, whatever. This is axis aardvark, and that is axis rutabaga, I guess. Who knows, who cares, as long as it'll move in those two directions and move cleanly and smoothly. So anyway, we're now good for at least stage 1 of this. We'll be moving on to stage 2. Thanks ever so much for watching. If you like what you're seeing, please hit the like button. Maybe even consider hitting the subscribe button. I am strange, I will grant you, but I'd like it, so please. Thanks much. Thanks for watching. Hope your morning, afternoon, evening, day, whatever goes well, and hope you don't get caught, because it's all good till you get caught, right? Bye-bye.